well-documented legal precedent, and transgender people of all stripes deserve those same protections. Excuse me. I'm demanding that you, as my elected representatives, make this city safe for trans people by passing legislation geared towards preventing discrimination based on gender identity. Make Louisville a safe haven, because we are here, we have always been here, and we are not going anywhere. And we deserve the same human decency as everyone else. Thank you.
Jordan Simpson. Octavia Cobble.
Good evening. My name is Octavia. I'm a trans woman from Lancaster, Kentucky, and I'm a senior at the University of Louisville. I'm here to talk about my experience moving here and why I think that Louisville must move to protect its trans and gender queer folks. It's taken for granted that Louisville is the most queer-friendly city in the state, a reputation which draws in people from across Kentucky. Coming from a rural town myself, I've been afforded the opportunity for authentic self-expression here, which I would have been shunned by my peers at home, disowned by half my family. When my doctor told me he wasn't comfortable treating me for gender dysphoria and referred me to the University of Kentucky's Trans Health Clinic that had a years-long wait list, the University of Louisville was there for me. On campus, I was one phone call and 2 weeks away from access to this life-saving medical care. Many of my friends on campus would tell you the similar story too. These bona fides of institutional support and an accepting public culture are at the moment unmatched in the rest of the state and much of the country, and must be enshrined and defended as a keystone for Louisville's unique identity. However, it is this hospitality that is one of the Trump administration's regime of anti-trans policies and executive orders would see stamped out. Trump's scare tactics have gone unchallenged by our institutions, public and private, letting the crackdown reverberate throughout society. When doctors are worried their practice will be targeted because they have trans patients, when universities walk back their gender-inclusive housing and reverse their preferred name policy so that trans people are outed on class registers, when public schools decline to hire trans teachers or obligate them to dress as their assigned sex, again, the world starts looking a lot smaller and a lot less safe. The GOP's grand political mission against the transgender boogeyman only serves to deprive and humiliate us, embolden trans folks on the street to harass us, and open up a window for further reaction against the gains of civil rights groups over the past half-century. In the fraught situation we face today, there's a lot we've lost and a lot more we can lose. We are your neighbors and your friends, and in times like these, we need the protection that only community can offer. Louisville has the potential and the power to safely harbor its trans residents against this incursion on human rights throughout the Commonwealth and the country. Embracing them throughout our community spaces, civil institutions, businesses, government, and lives is a start to making folks feel welcome. But we must also be ready to resist political encroachment when it does come. The question that Frankfurt and Washington raise is, where do these people belong? And our answer should be right here, among us, and no place else. Thank you.
Here, here.
Next, we have approval of the council minutes for the regular meetings of February 26, 2026. Are there any corrections or deletions? Is there a motion?
Second.
All right, all those in favor of approving minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The minutes are approved as written. Next, we have approval of the following committee minutes, all in 2026. The Special Equity, Community Affairs, Housing, Health, and Education, February 26th. The regular Committee of the Whole, February 26th. The regular Planning and Zoning, March 3rd. The regular Labor and Economic Development, March 3rd. The regular Public Works, March 3rd. The regular Government Oversight, Audit and Appointments Committee, March 3rd. The regular Equity, Community Affairs, Housing, Health, and Education, March 4th. The regular appropriations meeting, March 4th, the regular public safety meeting, March 4th, the regular parks and sustainability meeting, March 5th, the regular budget meeting, March 5th, the regular committee on committees, March 10th. Are there any corrections or deletions?
Second.
Items proper before us, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
In opposition? In opposition, the minutes are approved as written. Madam Clerk, do we have any communications to the council?
Yes, sir, we do.
Please read those into the record.
Dear President Atkinson, in accordance with the ordinance, I'm appointing and reappointing the following to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board. Travis Yates, Apartment Association Rep, a new appointment term expires December the 31st, 2028. Bruce Gerard, a consumer, a reappointment term expires December the 31st, 2028. Philip Vaughn, the West Neighborhood Association, reappointment term expires December 31st, 2028. Rolandis Bird, Banking Community, a new appointment term expires December 31st, 2026. Jay Sanders, Low Income Housing Advocate, a new appointment term expires December 31st, 2028. Your contact on this is most appreciated, sincerely, Craig Greenberg, Mayor. Your President Atkinson, in accordance with the ordinance, I'm reappointing the following to the Cemetery Board. Natalie Owen, a reappointment term expires April 13, 2029. Your contact on this reappointment is most appreciated, sincerely, Craig Greenberg, Mayor. President Atkinson, in accordance with the ordinance, I'm reappointing the following to the Downtown Development Review Overlay District. Leslie Clements, Downtown Business reappointment, term expires April the 13th, 2029. James Allen, a Downtown Business reappointment, term expires April the 13th, 2029. Rebecca Fleiss Shaker, DDC COPA, reappointment term expires January 31st, 2029. Kelly Jones, Landscape Architect, a reappointment term expires January 31st, 2029. Your prompt action on these reappointments is most appreciated, sincerely, President Mayor. Dear President Atkinson, I am appointing and reappointing the following to the Medical Center Commission of Jefferson County. Abby Roach, a new appointment term expires January 12th, 2028. Glenn Todd, a reappointment term expires January 12th, 2028. This will be read as a record only. That your council approval of these appointments and reappointments not required. Sincerely, Craig Greenberg, Mayor. Westall.
Those items needing council approval will be forwarded to the Government Oversight Audit and Appointments Committee. Our next order of business is going to be the consent calendar. Consent calendar comprises of items 19 through 33. Are there any additions or deletions? Madam?
I would like to move item number 25 from the consent calendar to old business.
Without objection, item 25 is going to move to old business. The consent calendar now comprises of items 19 through 24 and 26 through 33. Madam Clerk, a second reading of those items.
Following legislation was forwarded from the Appropriation Committee. Item 19, an ordinance appropriating $5,500 from District 4 Neighborhood Development Funds to the Office of Management and Budget to Young Adult Development and Action, Inc., doing business as Blueprint 502 for costs associated with their cooking, urban farming, and sewing classes being administered as part of District 4's Life Skills for Youth initiative to be held in spring of 2026. Item 20, an ordinance appropriating $5,421.85 from District 3 Neighborhood Development Funds to the Office of Management and Budget, 2 Trees, Louisville, for landscape maintenance costs for Sheridan Cemetery. Item 21, an ordinance appropriating $10,000 from District 3 Neighborhood Development Funds to Metro Parks for personnel and program materials for its 6-week Gyms Not Jails program beginning April the 2026. The following legislation was forwarded from the Budget Committee. Item 22, an ordinance amending ordinance number 091, series 2025, related to the fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget by transferring $25,000 from Neighborhood Development Fund District 21 to the Louisville Metro Council General Operation District 21. Item 23, an ordinance amending ordinance number 091, series 2025, relating to the fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget by transferring $25,000 from Neighborhood Development Fund District 26 to the Louisville Metro General Operations District 26. Item 24, an ordinance amending ordinance number 072, series 2020, relating to the fiscal year 2020-2021 capital budget. Ordinance number 109, series 2018, relating to the fiscal year 2018-2019 capital budget. And ordinance number 115, series 2017, related to the fiscal year 2017-2018 capital budget by transferring $58,602.90 from multiple District 21 projects to District 21 sidewalk improvement projects. The following legislation was forwarded from the Government Oversight and Audits Appointments. Item 26, a reappointment of David Haas to the Louisville Downtown Management District Board. Term expires December 15, 2028. Item 27, reappointment of Gary Dryden to the Louisville Downtown Management District Board. Term expires February 16, 2029. Item 28, reappointment of Kristen Snyder to the Code Enforcement Board, term expires February the 9th, 2029. Item 29, appointment of Minerva Barola to the Human Relations Commission Advocacy Board, term expires September 30th, 2029. The following legislation was forwarded from the Labor and Economic Development Committee. Item 30, a resolution pursuant to the capital and operating budget ordinances approving the appropriation to fund the following non-competitive negotiated professional service contract for the local Metro Department of Public Health Wellness to pay for qualified and licensed medical practitioner to oversee medical services during healthcare, $60,000. Following legislation was forwarded from the Planning and Zoning Committee. Item 31, an ordinance relating to the closure of unapproved right-of-way located near Mountain Avenue containing approximately 22,526.36 square feet and being a local metro case number 25 street closure 0015. The following legislation was ordered from the Public Works Committee. Item 32, an ordinance amending Chapter 156 of the local metro code ordinances LCO regarding the penalties and costs associated with the removal of illegal drop-off things. Item 33, a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept $95,238 from the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development for the Southeast Global Connector feasibility study project to be administered by the Department of Public Works and Assets. Reverend?
Motion.
Second.
Items brought before us, the consent calendar requires a roll call vote. Let's look at the roll call.
Member Shadewin?
Yes.
Mr. President, you have 25 yes votes.
Consent calendar passes. The next item is to be old business. Madam Clerk, the reading of item number 25.
The reappointment of Suzanne Sheep to the Planning Commission, term expires October 1st, 2028.
Motion. Second.
Items brought before us, Councilwoman Purvis, I believe this came out of your committee. You have the floor, madam.
Yes, sir, it did. Councilwoman Chapel requested that we put on old business for her vote. And I'm going to yield the floor to Councilwoman Chapel. Thank you.
Councilwoman.
Thank you so very much. I wanted to pull this one just because the Planning Commission, all of our boards and commissions are very important, and the people who serve on them are also very important. This one is particularly time intensive, and so I just want to thank everyone that does this. I am not, I don't know Ms. Cheek. This is nothing against this individual. Aside from the video I watched of the Government Oversight and Accountability meeting the other night, I don't know if I would be able to identify this individual. So I just cannot stress that this is not about Ms. Cheek or any of the decisions she has made as a planning commissioner, since this is a reappointment. But I do have issue with the current makeup of this board. There are 10 people on the Planning Commission, 8 of which are voting members. By my count, only 2 of them live in the urban core, and this would be the 3rd appointment from District 16, and no offense to District 15 or anyone that lives there. But I really don't think that this board is representative of our entire city, especially for someone like me who would like to see more representation within the Watterson Expressway. And aside from that, I do want to point some attention to the materials that the Government Oversight and Accountability Board have in front of them to make this decision. And it's difficult to see, but I took the current board makeup and it's missing so much information that, again, no one can see this, but the red parts of this, which is a large part of the document, are pieces that I filled in. There's no reason why we should not be given more accurate information. The committee meeting that was held last week, it still has Jennifer Kern as the director of our Public Works Department, and she has not worked for Louisville Metro government, I believe, in 4 years. So we're not holding our own people accountable to giving us accurate information in order for us to make good decisions. And given the very, very important role that this board plays, I will be voting no for this appointment because Again, I don't feel like this board represents me or the people that I sit here representing.
Seeing no one else in the queue, Councilman Pedro.
Sure, just real quick, I don't begrudge anybody voting against any person here I'm voting for, but I just want to clarify that Jennifer Kern resigned September of 2025. So it was months ago, it wasn't 4 years ago.
I think I said 4 years.
Yes, yeah,
I meant 4 months, but okay.
that's, okay, there you go. No, yes, four months, yes, not 4 years, but yes, yeah, it still should be updated, I agree, I always want accurate information here too. I think you're right about that, I want to get as much accurate information as we can for committee, so thank you.
Councilman Burgess.
6 months.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to state that the information that we rely on comes from the mayor's office about the appointments. And I found this last appointed member to be very engaging and also very knowledgeable of planning and development. So I was one of the ones in favor of her being nominated. Now, maybe we may want to look at some other people that have been nominated or that will be nominated in the future from District 16. But this is not the person this is not the one. I think she has a lot to offer to this committee, and so I'm going to be voting in favor of her. Thank you.
Again, I have no one else in my queue at the moment. Madam Clerk, let's do a voice vote on this. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any in opposition?
No.
In the opinion of the chairs, the ayes have it. The appointment is adopted. Madam Clerk, the reading of item number 34.
In ordinance related to the detailed district development plan for property located at 11311 Taylorsville Road containing approximately 3.9 acres and being a Louisville Metro, case number 25 DDP 00822, read in full.
Second.
Items brought before us, Councilman Owen, this came out of your committee, you've got the floor, sir.
Thank you, President Eckerson. So this was a very minor revision to a detailed district development plan, Taylorsville Road. Basically changing the plan from something like 43 townhouse units to 42, along with a couple of garages. It was a minor revision. It passed the Planning Commission 7-1. There were a couple of, I believe there were a couple of amendments. I'm trying to see that. Travis, did we add anything to this?
We did not. This is a case where that council refunding was already on it, so that's why it's in front of it.
Yeah, okay. So, and then it passed our committee 7-1. It's in Councilman Kramer's district in District 11, so I'll give the floor to him and you can add whatever you like.
Councilman Kramer.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you for coming. The description is quite complete. I will add only that it came back over because there is a piece that we put in just about everything. It says if you change it very much, it has to come back to the council for approval. It passed with overwhelming support of the council last time. It came out of the planning committee with overwhelming support as well. The change that was made that brought it back to us, as Councilman Owen pointed out, was a reduction from 43 units to 42. And also they're adding garages, which actually makes this a more desirable development on that location than what would have been there before. The planning commission did agree to removing a bounding element. There's a bounding element in there that says that they would put a landscape berm between the property development and Rambling Creek. When they actually got out on site and started looking at what that would look like and where that would go, the terrain there does not lend itself to a landscape berm. And so the feeling was there's not a way, there was never a plan to have an entrance or an exit from this development onto Rambling Creek. And so the concern about the landscape barrier kind of goes away with the difference in terrain. So the neighbors aren't upset about that. It is in the public record now that not only will there not be an entrance from Ramblin' Creek. But this also denies the possibility even of a construction entrance during the period of construction. So what this actually does is make the zoning change that we did better, not worse. I know there were council members who questioned the original plan, and so when this came back, even though there are improvements, it didn't address some of the concerns of folks that were concerned before. I think that's why I came out of your committee with the no vote. And so, again, District 11, this is an improvement on a zoning change that we had already made. And so, and I voted yes on the last one, we consistently voted on yes on this one as well. And appreciate your support, comments. Thank you.
Councilman Benson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm the no vote, for 23 years. A number of times I think when we're gonna zone something to make something better for everybody, if it's to do with traffic, we should also try to improve it. But most of the time what they think is, no, we'll wait till it gets so bad that nobody can go anywhere, then we'll try to improve it. Well, I'm against that. Even on this place right here, these people, they live on Rambling Creek, maybe 15 people, but I think there's, I don't know how many condominiums or whatever they're building. Should have been a turn lane, because the traffic's so heavy, the people will have to come out, they'll have to go turn right and go up to J-Town and turn around and go, if they want to go east. And to me, I think that's a little bit much, but, they think that if we just keep people flowing, it'll be okay. But somewhere in government, we're supposed to be helpful. We're supposed to try to make the traffic situation better. We're glad people want to develop property and make it so that we have more conveniences, and people have a place to live. But the people in the area shouldn't suffer because we're too lazy to improve the roads. But, I know they'll probably always be that way, but that's why I'm a no. Thank you.
I've got no one else in my queue. This is an ordinance that's going to require a roll call vote. Now, clerk, go ahead and roll.
Councilmember Shanklin?
Yes.
Mr. President, you have 23 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 1 present vote.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, a reading of item number 35.
An ordinance related to the zoning of property located at 6325 Applegate Lane containing approximately 0.60 acres of neighborhood residential, case number 25-00137, as amended by the board.
Second.
Items brought before us, Councilman Owen, came out of your committee. You have the floor again, sir.
Thank you, President Atkinson. So this was a change in zoning from R4 to PRD on Applegate Lane. It's in Councilman Hudson's district, so I'll turn it over to him in just a minute to provide a little bit more color. But this was one where it was originally proposed as an apartment building, and kind of morphed into townhomes based on some feedback from the community. So I think that's always, a good sign that people are listening to things that are being said at some of the meetings that the public is, that we provide for the public so they can come and express their opinions. It passed the Planning Commission 7-1. We did add the standard binding element on this one in committee, and that was adopted by acclamation. It was approved out of our committee unanimously. And with that, I will turn it over to Councilman Hudson to add some more color.
Thank you, Mr. President, thank you, Chair. I try to make as many of the neighborhood information meetings as I can when there's a zoning change or development. And there are 5 big things that, there's more than 5, but you can categorize a lot of the complaints into 5 major categories. One of which is, why do we have these neighborhood information meetings? Because the developers are going to do what they want to do anyway. Nobody ever listens to us. And I think that this particular case is a quintessential example of why that is not true. The original development plan was for a large number of apartments. The community came out en masse and was very clear that they did not want apartments. And the developer went back to the drawing board and came back with a completely different plan that included homes that are going to be sold to the owners, not just a townhome building that they would own the building that they live in, but they also own the dirt that it sits on. So you're buying that living place. So this is a great example where the developer listened to the community and everybody came out in the good on this, so I'll be voting a yes on this one. And I would encourage the same thing.
Seeing no one else in my queue, this is an ordinance that requires a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, open the roll.
Councilmember Shanklin?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. President, you have 25 yes votes.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, reading item number 36, please.
A resolution requesting that the planning commission add a binding element requiring council review to certain proposed map amendment cases when requested by the council member from the district where the property is located. As amended, read full.
Motion.
Item is brought before us. Councilman Alderman, out of your committee, you're up again.
Thank you, President Atkinson. So when I was speaking about the last legislation in front of us, I used the words standard binding element. And based on the resolution here that we're talking about, we're no longer going to be using that phrase. What we've done here is we've requested the Planning Commission to add the council review binding element, I think is what we're calling it. And we've been talking about this for the last month or 6 weeks or so, where we wanted to give the council offices an opportunity to put on this binding element that basically said if a significant change is made to the development after it is passed, then it will come back in front of us at Metro Council. And we've, for many years, kind of gotten into a pattern of adding that binding element on many of the projects. Once we passed legislation that allowed unanimously passed changes in zoning to go to bypass Metro Council a number of months ago, we weren't able to easily add that binding element, and so we requested in this resolution a way for the council office to proactively add the binding element to legislation. So we don't have to then have an aggrieved party bring it back in front of us. I know that's very convoluted, but so that's what this resolution is requesting the Planning Commission to do. Travis, are there more details that you would like to highlight on this?
Just very briefly, I don't know if I introduced myself earlier, Travis Peace, Assistant County Attorney. So there are a lot of red clauses in there. Those have to lay out the full history here if anyone's not quite sure why we're talking about this. Would that be a member who doesn't regularly deal with the zoning cases or anyone at home? The process that's being proposed is for basically for a council person who has a zoning case in their district. They see a case, you obviously does like everyone else does. And you think you would want the council review, find out and add it to it. We'll send an email to the case manager or the planning commission, to Brian Davis, someone in planning, hopefully copy myself or Laura, and just basically say that, hey, I'm a council person from the district, there's this case in my district, I would like to see this binding element added. And that will give staff an opportunity to integrate that into the presentation, if they'd like, give the applicant opportunity to sort of be aware of it rather than it being drop on the positive hearing. Hopefully it will save anybody from having to attend the hearing and make just this request and prevent this council from being able to file a resolution to pull a case up just to add this binding element, which is a lot of extra time and paperwork and defeats the very purpose of trying to accelerate the process in the first place. So that's what's going on here. Assuming it passes tonight, Laura and I will work on some very simple language. You all can plug in the address, the case number, et cetera, into. You can use goodies. You don't need to be handcrafting something every time. And otherwise, happy to answer any questions.
And President Atkinson, I would love to have Councilman Hudson mention, or Councilman Reed, they were both sponsors of this legislation. If there's anything that they would like to add, I would like to give them the floor and the opportunity to do so as well.
Councilman Hudson, I see you nodding.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. First, I want to thank the county attorney's office for the work that they put into this. You know, one of the biggest issues facing our city is houselessness and homelessness. One solution to that is houses. And to get more houses, we need to make the process easier and, or at least streamline the process without making it more difficult. And this goes a long way in helping to streamline the process. So thank you, County Attorney, for the work that you've done on this. This is good work. Thank you.
Councilman Reed, as a sponsor, I'm going to defer to you, now we get to Councilman Craney. Councilwoman Craney, I apologize, but just as the sponsors, the deference is going to be.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I wanted to congratulate and thank Councilman Hudson for his work on this and the county attorney. But just to be clear, and just for the record, how much notice does the council office need to give the planning commission?
Sure, so as the resolution currently reads with the 2 days notice, as you all know, planning commission meetings on Thursdays, that would be, the Tuesday before. The intention there, we talked about a potentially longer period, but frequently Mondays or holidays, and so 3 days could be problematic, push people pretty far in advance. But 2 days should be enough time to, again, let staff update their presentations and the like. We typically have the public bring in any comments they want to suggest about 24-hour before, so as well.
And I just want to be clear so that everybody hears this. Okay.
And that doesn't mean that if you miss the 2 days, you absolutely can't do this, but really trying to make sure, because if an email does get missed, it could happen. So I think 2 days adequate notice to make sure this gets entered into everything.
And Brian's office would notify us back and say, received, noted, et cetera. Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Craney, you've been very patient, and I appreciate that. You've got the floor, madam.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I don't normally do this because it's just a policy of mine if I don't have actually right wording into a resolution or an ordinance. But on this one, I think something that I needed to say it precipitated some of this action, so I would like to be added on as a sponsor.
Okay. Seeing no one else in my queue now. Madam Clerk, you did add Councilwoman Craney as a sponsor? Fantastic. No one else in my queue, this is it's a resolution, calls for a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, read item number 37, please.
An ordinance appropriating $8,000 from District 21 Neighborhood Development Fund to the Louisville Metro Police Department, 3rd Division, to fund additional patrolling in the South Glen Boulevard area and the Little Business District for 30 consecutive days from March the 9th, 2026 through April the 8th, 2026 during the hours of 3 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Motion. Second.
Items brought before us, Councilman Joseph, this came out of your before, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, item 37 was sent to old business due to a present vote.
Okay. Anyone else? I don't see anyone else in my queue. Madam Clerk, this ordinance requires a roll call vote. Please open the roll.
Councilmember Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilmember Winston? Mr. President, you have 22 yes votes and 3 present votes.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, read item number 38, please.
An ordinance appropriating $10,000 from neighborhood development funds in the following manner: $5,000 each from districts 5 and 6 through Metro Parks to the Jefferson County Extension Office for salaries, programming, and operating costs.
Motion. Second.
The item is brought before us. Councilman Joseph, this came out of your you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is just a item looking for additional funding, and I'm going to hand it over to Councilman Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a ordinance for us to assign some of our neighborhood development funds to help close a shortfall in the budget of the Jefferson County Extension Office. Our Extension Office is woefully underfunded and really cannot meet the needs of their mission to support urban agriculture in Jefferson County, traditional agriculture in Jefferson County for that matter, for many of our colleagues in the south and east of the county. There's still farmland out there in Jefferson County if you know where to look for it. Fern Creek Boy myself, I've seen it. And something that really tugged at me when they came and testified before committee last year was the fact that they're not able to send kids to 4-H camp at the same level of support and the same rates that kids in other counties are going. And there are a lot of kids in Jefferson County that are desperate to have something good and positive in their lives during the summer, a place for them to go where they've got mentorship, positive influences in their lives from adults. Secular summer camps in Kentucky are fairly few and far between. And these kids deserve to be supported. But also just the cores of their mission, like I said, supporting agriculture in Jefferson County, a lot of adult and youth education. They're not able to do what is done in other counties. And so our office agreed that we would put forward a NDF where we would put money back in the budget from our council office to help support them and help close that shortfall. Councilwoman Purvis joined us with another $5,000 from both of us. I know that there are several members here tonight that want to add on into support, and we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Councilwoman Chapman, you're next in my queue.
Thank you. I'm kind of on autopilot because I queued in earlier today at like 11 a.m. for all the items I wanted to speak on. Just want to say that's pretty cool. $1,000 from District 15.
Councilwoman Harris Wright, you're next in my queue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 2,700 from District 3.
Councilwoman Rudy.
1,500 from D21.
Councilwoman Winkler.
Thank you. Could I just ask a clarification question? Could I ask of Councilman Lininger?
That's the way.
Councilman Lininger, you spoke about the money, the 4-H camp. This isn't earmarked for that though, right? This is general funding for the extension. That's just one of the things that they said.
Right. Fundamentally, money is fungible. While this money is not earmarked for that, it does open up other funds for them for programming costs if we're able to meet the full amount. Otherwise, it's probably out of programming costs.
Thank you. I just wasn't sure if we were funding a program specifically or general fund. $1,000 for 17, please.
Councilman Owen.
$1,000 for District 9 as well.
I've got no one else in my queue. Councilman Benson.
Thank you, Mr. President. $1,000 from District 20.
Councilman Herndon.
1,000 from D4.
Councilwoman Shanklin, I would like to put in 1,000. Okay.
Councilwoman Ray.
Yes, the extension office is, the headquarters is in District 10, but they're doing good work everywhere. I'd like to commit $5,000 from District 10 and also plug extensions, spring break activities for all ages and their spring break camp.
I've got no one else in my queue. All right, we have a amended.
Motion to amend. Second.
All right, we've got the amended ordinance now before us for a vote. Voice vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? In opposition, we now have the full amended ordinance before us. Madam Clerk, it requires. Go ahead, what's that? The total?
Yes. Total is $26,200.
We now have the full amended ordinance before us. Madam Clerk, open the roll.
Councilwoman Shanklin?
Yes.
President, you have 25 yes votes.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, reading by item number 39.
An ordinance appropriating $4,600 from neighborhood development funds in the following manner: $1,000 each from districts 1, 5, and $600 from district 15, and $500 each from 25 and 26 through the Office of Management Budget to Mental Health Lift and Inc. for costs associated with its mental health allied toolkit program through March 1st, from March 1st through June the 1st, 2026, as amended and full.
Motion. Second.
So Joseph, this came out of your committee before.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, the sponsors are looking for additional funding. I'd like to yield the floor to Councilwoman Hawkins.
Thank you. As we all know, mental health is real. We have a lot of, citizens that suffer from that in all our districts. And I'm going to ask that we support our colleague, Ben Weber, in this entity. Thank you.
Councilman Owen, you're first in my queue.
$1,000 from 9.
Councilwoman Parrish Wright.
$1,300 from District 3.
Councilwoman Ruby.
500 from 21.
Sharon Cook would like to put in 500 from District 2.
We got you, ma'am.
Councilwoman Bast.
14 wide, 500.
I've got no one else in my queue. Madam Clerk, what's the total right now?
$8,400.
Okay. We have the proposed amendment to the ordinance before us. Is there a motion to amend? Proper before us. All those in favor of the amended amending the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? We now have the amended ordinance before us. Madam Clerk, open the roll.
Councilmember Shanklin.
Yes.
Mr. President, you have 25 yes votes.
Madam Clerk, the reading of item number 40.
A resolution pursuant to the capital operating budget ordinance is approving the appropriation from the following non-compatible negotiated professional service contracts for Louisville Metro Government Cabinet of Economic Development for a vendor to clean and treat the King Louis statue. Revolt Studio, $205,000 for info.
Items proper before us, this came out of, Councilwoman Bass, came out of the Labor Committee. You have the floor, madam.
Thank you. This came out of Labor and Economic Development Committee. There was a no vote that sent it to old business. And the sponsors on this are Councilman Piagentini and Herndon. So I will let them have the floor and they want to speak to it.
Councilman Herndon. Councilman Piagentini.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. First of all, I do want to start by thanking Councilman Herndon, not just for this and being a part of this, but for all his work related to reforming how we handle public art. And I think one of the things that will come out of this as we go into the budget cycle and send this in committee is that we need to figure out how to first of all, a better process for selecting public art and getting it out there, but also maintaining it. If we're going to put public art out there, it must be maintained. And we have stuff, shocker that we have deferred maintenance on public art even in this city. So this is one of those examples of what happens when we do nothing for long periods of time. I can't think of a better time period to get this done. Just to be clear, we did budget $200,000 for this quite some time ago in a prior budget because we knew this was coming and we had estimates that this is about what it would cost. The work is going to take about 3 or 4 months, so fingers crossed, we may be able to get this revealed back to the public during the 250th anniversary of the country, which would be a great, I think, thing to do. I do want to address something that I did not have the information for in committee, and just let the public know, because it was asked of me by council members and the public. And that is what happened when this was vandalized. What happened to the people who vandalized the actual statue? 3 people who did a bunch of the spray painting of the statue were indeed arrested. And they were, it was misdemeanor vandalism is what they were charged with. Misdemeanor vandalism is vandalism is less than $500 of damage. That's the sort of threshold for felony. The reason it falls under, you say, well, that seems ridiculous, $1,500 total, when we're about to spend $200,000 to clean it. It seems absurd, right? Well, I think, once again, layering on my argument of why our public art process has been so fundamentally broken and why we are still to this day paying for the failures of the prior administration, it's that the prior administration told JCO that the total dollar amount to clean up King Louis would amount to a little over $500, which nobody that had half a brain thought was true, even at the time. So that is why, but nonetheless, police arrested and ultimately Jayco charged. Those people did pay the $500 of total restitution as part of their, they pled guilty. The person that broke off the hand of King Louis, of which there is a YouTube video dedicated to watching him stand there right in front of the camera, and he stands there for about 10 or 15 seconds, as plain as day, and then jumps off the base of the statue holding the hand, and the hand breaks off as he falls. That person has never been charged. I mean, even though you can go on YouTube right now and you can find the video of him doing the damage, right? But that person has never been caught, never been charged. But nonetheless, we did get the hand back somehow, and it has been reattached. The statue has been repaired. This is to finish the paint cleaning. Very excited to get this done. I really appreciate everybody's support. And again, I want to really come back to where I started, which is thanking Councilman Herndon's partnership, not just on this, but on what he's attempting to do to improve our public art process in the city. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Herndon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilman Piagentini. The King Louis statue is one of the most high-profile piece of public art that has been damaged, but we have many, many others that have been damaged or missing or both. As part of what Councilman Piagentini is referring to, I'm in the process of going through a process with the study panel to vastly improve the procurement and the protection of all of our public art that is owned by the public and should be enjoyed by the public, and so many major pieces are in warehouses or in behind fencing in a yard on Lexington Road. And so at the end of this summer, maybe early fall, I hope to come back from that study group with a full-blown proposal of how we improve all of our the procurement process and protection of it, and appropriately take care of what we all, the public, own. King Louis is being one piece. Thank you.
I will say this, for those of us that don't know, especially in the community, is you walk around downtown Louisville, be it alleyways and side streets and things like that, and you see doors with art on them, out of nowhere. We owe all that to Councilman Herndon, so thank you. I've got no one else in my queue. Councilman Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to begin my statements with a selection by noted Marxist scholar Mark Twain from his political treatise, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. There were two reigns of terror, if we would but remember it and consider it. The one wrought murder in hot passion, the other in heartless cold blood. The one lasted mere months, the other had lasted 1,000 years. The one inflicted death upon 10,000 persons, the other upon 100 millions. But our shudders are all for the horrors of the mini-terror, the minor terror rather, the momentary terror, so to speak. Whereas, what is the horror of swift death by the axe compared with lifelong death from hunger, cold, insult, cruelty, and heartbreak? What is swift death by lightning compared with death by slow fire at the stake? A city cemetery could contain the coffins filled by that brief terror, which we have all been so diligently taught to shiver at and mourn over. But all France could hardly contain the coffins filled by that older and real terror, that unspeakably bitter and awful terror which none of us has been taught to see in its vastness or pity as it deserves. The King Louis statue is an inherently political piece of art. It is in the United States, it is in Louisville for political reasons. It cannot be displayed in France. They gave it to us as a white elephant because nowhere in France would have it. It is an inherently political piece of art, and what happened to it during the Breonna Taylor uprising following the murder of Breonna Taylor is part of the provenance of this political piece of art. The act of restoring this statue at significant cost is itself a political act. These are all political acts. Nothing about it is dispassionate. Nothing about it is neutral or in a vacuum. We are political actors here. We're making political decisions about what our priorities are and what we should spend our money on. It was stated in committee that the appropriation, which was made by a previous council, which I did not vote for, certainly as I was not here, was made for the restoration and replacement of the statue. We are now exceeding the funds for the placement of the statue, that we will require more money, so more money will be spent on this in the future to put it back in place if we vote to do so, which I imagine that is most likely going to be the will of this body. I have been told by people that have observed the tests done that the results are not as glowing as was reported at committee. Regardless, I do not believe that this is a good use of our funds, and I do not believe that it is good stewardship of this public piece of art, which now has a new political component to its existing political component. I will be voting no.
Councilman Pizzatini, you're next in my queue.
Thank you, Mr. President. Quoting Marx's theory and claiming that this is political is quite ironic, given that Marxists historically have destroyed public art and then used it on behalf of exclusively political propaganda. And then all the Marxist regimes in modern world history killed way more of their citizens than even the Nazis of fascist Germany. So the last political ideology on planet Earth that I would like to quote when we're talking about public art is Marxists. So thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Herman, you're next in my queue.
I would just simply say, for me, speaking for myself, this is not a political act. As I said in my op-ed that began this process, I participated in a Black Lives Matter protest at 26th and Broadway after Mr. McAtee was killed. I stood on the south side of Broadway with hundreds of other people, and that happens to be in the district that I represent. I merely want to fix the art and get that done and move on.
Councilman Leninger.
My apologies to a previously speaking council person for my joke referring to Mark Twain as a Marxist scholar. Mark Twain is not, to my knowledge, a Marxist scholar, and I believe perhaps predated the writing of Capital, the Communist Manifesto, and other works by Karl Marx. I was quoting Mark Twain, not an actual Marxist scholar. It's just a joke.
I've got no one else in my queue. This is a resolution requiring a voice vote. However, because of the potential, what's that? Because of the potential no's, at the end of the day, we'll do a roll call.
Councilmember Shanklin?
Yes.
Mr. President, you have 21 yes votes and 4 no votes.
The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, reading item number 41.
In order to amend ordinance number 104, series 2015, relating to the fiscal year 2015-2016 capital budget, ordinance number 115, series 2017, relating to the fiscal year 2017-2018 capital budget, ordinance number 109, series 2018, relating to
Si no haces nada más, 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 si no haces nada más,
si no haces nada más,
mantente vivo.